Hey everybody! I don't know if you can see me, just let me. So it's our gardening blog here, the GreenThumb blog, and I have again Harriet, and I think Harriet's going to be joining me for the rest of the season until she goes back down to her other location. So this week we're going to be talking about blight and cleaning up your tomatoes, and we are also going to be going over to our Brussels sprout patch because it's time to encourage the Brussels to start forming. But first is first. I'm going to give it to Harriet to talk about this here.
They were green about 3 days ago, and we had some rain and high humidity overnight. And if you can, Cheyenne will zoom in on you. You can see where they look, and I'll hold it up just for you to see, is this. And this just happened in 3 days. So with the rain and the high humidity. So we're just going to try and clean them up so that we can control it a little bit, and blight will affect your yield. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go all through the plants, and the ones that have the dead leaves, they're yellow, they have black spots on them. Those are the ones that you want to trim off and destroy. Do not put them in your compost. Do not leave them around.
Don't put them in your weed tea.
Correct, because they have the mold. It's a fungus spore, and that was what blight is. So this is, as you can see, I'm just trimming it off.
And use a clipper. Try not to rip it off with your hands. It's better to get a nice clean cut. And then the other thing too is if I'm holding them with my hands, she's cutting with her bare hands. Make sure you wash your hands afterwards as well, so that you're not
from plant to plant.
Yeah, otherwise you're spreading the fungus that causes the blight. And like she had said earlier, like after a heavy rain or really a few humid days, the blight just hits like that. And in an earlier blog, I talked to you guys about like putting sphagnum, and you'll notice that she's got sphagnum moss on the bottom around the plant. This helps because the spores for the blight are down in the soil. So when it rains, that soil splashes up, makes your leaves dirty, and it brings the blight with it. So Harriet taught me a few years ago, put some moss down so that when it does rain and the water's splashing down, it's not going to splash that dirt, and it's less chance, it's not improbable, but it's a less chance of getting the blight.
Yes, and also don't overhead water on them with a sprinkler. Use a soaker hose or water at the base of the plant.
Which I talked about in a different blog, which
That's
is why
correct.
Both her and I have all these buckets of temperate water, not cold water, that we use a container to individually water.
And this happens when there's high humidity, and you'll quite often see the gray mold even on your squash when the humidity. When we're late August, early September, this is what's happening at that time also. I think we got that pretty well covered, haven't we?
Yeah. All right, should we move on to the Brussels?
Yeah. Hey, can we?
Yeah.
Oh, this got nice ones on it.
Okay, so I'm going to just operate this. So we're doing our Brussels. I'm going to stand behind. It's Cheyenne from behind, just so I can zoom in.
Yes.
And it's hard to see in the sunlight here, but... Okay, so hopefully everybody can see this here.
The Brussels sprouts will form at the bottom. We're at the stage where you can see where there's the central head is up here, but we figure that we want to produce nice big Brussels sprouts and tight. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pinch out the central head of our Brussels sprout.
Okay, so I'm going to come over here so we can see.
So we can see. This is the central head. You don't have to take all the leaves because they will also do photosynthesis and make. So we just peel it back and twist it.
Nice clean
break.
Yes.
There we go. And that's all it takes. And you do that in. Ours are ready now in July. This is a little ahead of year for us. Usually this is done about the first week of August.
Yeah, there's a few Brussels that are further behind that we'll do later.
Yes.
And then as the year progresses, if it's super humid, you can take the bottom leaves off to avoid getting slugs and other things and just to keep it drier. Otherwise, I do find that if you leave all the leaves on and it is a super humid year, your Brussels start to rot at the bottom.
So pick them off if they look like they're ready before they hit a frost. They won't be as sweet as if they've had a frost, but like Cheyenne said, the slugs get at them, they do rot, so you want to harvest and make good of all your harvest.
Yep.
You want to show the purple ones too?
Sure. We're gonna just pause this and go see our purple Brussels. All right, so you saw the green Brussels. Now these are our purple Brussels here.
And they are just forming, but they're not, I don't think it's time to pinch yet.
No, they're...
This is a good way to demonstrate that it's not quite. We want them we want that Brussels sprout to get a little taller, and we'll get more Brussels that way.
Yeah, like a little fuller in the little side Brussels there.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to point out, just in case somebody doesn't know where the Brussels actually are?
Okay, the Brussels are right at each joint of the leaf. So that is why I would like to see this one grow about maybe 6-8 inches, and then you would have at least 3 more leaves, and you would have that many more Brussels. So
yes.
This is our first year doing the purple.
The purple.
So that's like purple cabbage. These are Brussels are just little cabbages.
Delicious. One of
And
my
very
favorite
delicious.
crops. And if you plant them subsequently, so 1 week and then wait 2 years and do another one, and then wait 2 weeks, do another one, then you'll have Brussels right into November, December, because they'll stay fine even when it snows.
Right.